news break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk to our buddy Frank Ruiz, CEO of Pumapunku, Ocean Cleanup, Inc., in the second hour of Power on the John Nolan Show. Here, man. Come over to AM 1080 K108. Check us out Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. All we got is today, and we hope that you check in with us because we need you tonight, we need you tomorrow, we need you the next day on the John Nolan Show. Now, before we get to our next guest in our second hour of Power here on the John Nolan Show, we're going to give some shout-outs and some big mahalos all the way around to the following sponsors. Without them, we wouldn't be sitting here Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Our next guest is the CEO of Pumapunku Ocean Cleanup Incorporated. They're dedicated to the mission of cleaning up the ecosystem within Hawaii's ocean, beaches, and waterways. If you want to know more about what they do and how do they do it and what kind of coverage they've been getting in the last several weeks and months, just go to pumapunkuhawaii.com. That's pumapunkuhawaii.com. He's been on the show before. We welcome him again. And without further ado, we say a John Nolan aloha and welcome to Frank Ruiz. And aloha, Brother Frank.
Hello, Honolulu. Hello, Oahu.
Hello, Waianae. How you doing out there, brother?
Fantastic. Had a great day. I went and hit the golf ball around down at
great
the park down here.
Oh, beautiful. It was a gorgeous day out today. Gorgeous.
Yes, it was. It was beautiful. And
that's why, you and I, we've talked over these last several weeks and months and about your company. And, we live in the most beautiful place on the planet. And I always tell people, don't you forget it. And because of that, because we live in such a special place, we got to take care of this place, don't we?
Yes. It's funny you should mention that. My company is trying to do exactly that. And we did another great cleanup at the Alawai Small Boat Harbor where we've been getting started. We pulled out about 4+ tons.
Wait, back up. 4+ tons?
Yeah, about 2.5, two of the bins were completely full. We couldn't get any more in.
Unbelievable.
And then
tons.
One of them was about halfway with these big, huge logs.
With a capital T. That's unbelievable, my friend. It just shows you what type of opala, what kind of rubbish, what kinds of materials that when the rains come down and things get piled back and things and we have rough ocean and there's a lot happening out in the seas, turned around up there, a lot of rubbish just starts coming down, doesn't it?
Yeah, what's great is this time we got it all. We got all the trash out, except for a few stragglers.
Sure.
Some things we couldn't reach, little stuff, but for the most part, we got it all, and that was quite fulfilling.
Excellent.
But I have to say, before we go any further, I have to say thank you to a few people like you did.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay, like McCabe, Hamilton, and Rennie. God bless you. John Falling and Tim Gard, Tony Souza, and Andrew Souza. They brought down a high lift again, and they placed them in strategic places for us, and what a huge help that is. And I just thank you so much, Tim Gard and John Falling and Andrew and Tony. I can't thank you enough for that.
Yep, I know Tim and his beautiful wife, Devin, and so, yeah, absolutely, man. Without community support, without help, some of this stuff, you just don't get it done, and when you do have help, things go so much smoother, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can't thank Tim Gard enough. He hired me, and he changed my life when he did.
Excellent.
And I try to schedule these things when the shift changes from day shift to night shift, so they haven't been working all night, and so they can come from the day shift to a morning, and then they go to nights anyways.
Excellent.
For once in a blue moon, because of the holidays, the shift didn't change on a Saturday. It changed on a Sunday, so that kind of messed up the gears. so a few of my key guys, Jeff Williams and Darren Shue, couldn't make it. But we did have 8 guys. Clyde Kanahulu came down. He took a day off. He was on the same shift. He took a day off, man. And Steve Iwasaki and his friend Jay Shelton came down. He also took a day off. Instead of working, they came to be with us, and it was just wonderful. And Mark Gonzalez came back down. Rocky Tahara, as you've met before, Edgar Palafox came down, and then Royce Wan and his son Kai Alla. His son Kai Alla is. I look at him and I see the future of this company. Royce has been coming down, and every time he's come down, he's brought his son Kai Alla, and it's an inspiration because I see the future of our company there. The kid, he loves it. He's 13 years old. He's going to be a tough, good-looking boy. In 5 years, he'll be 18. And I just see the future of this company right there.
Absolutely, my friend.
And we dedicated the cleanup with a prayer, as we always start with a prayer, like most Hawaiian huis do, to Hayden Marriott, a wonderful, beautiful guy who unfortunately passed away at 67. We all know him. Jeff knows him. Jeff worked with him forever. I worked with him forever. He was in Gang 11, and we dedicated it to him because he just unfortunately passed away. And I just want to say that because he's just such a wonderful guy that he's gone. But we remember him, and we did in our prayers at the beginning of the cleanup.
Excellent. Excellent, my friend. It sounds like you not only got the support that you needed, but you kicked it off in the right fashion, and you came up with huge results.
It all worked out, as the good Lord just does it that way, I guess.
For people out there just listening and might not have heard your story on this show before, Frank, let them know a little bit about yourself, your background, and why you're doing this.
We started this nonprofit to clean the oceans, and we've just gotten started. We've done a few cleanups at the Alawite Yacht Harbor, and now I found a new project for us at Camilo Beach on the Big Island. They also call it Plastic Beach. It's on the south tip of the Big Island, and because of the current and the trade winds especially, there are tons and tons and tons of plastic, especially plastic, dumped on the beach and under the water right near the shore. And I think I'm gonna point that in our direction for the next big cleanup. We're gonna get the boys to take a couple days off and go over there and just clean that stuff up. And I know it's gonna come back, but this looks like and it was what was her name? This lady pointed that out, Kathy Lawson. She called me, and she wants to donate a $19,000 boat to Pumapunku Ocean Cleanup Incorporated. And if it works out, we're going to meet with the guy that makes them. And we have the same goal, not like giving it to me. It's giving it to the company, and the main objective is to get the trash. This 23-foot all aluminum boat is made for cleaning trash, and it would be perfect for any harbor or the Alawite Canal. Perfect.
Excellent. And that was, of course, because this woman had heard about what you were doing with your company and the coverage you've been getting on all the channels, television.
Yeah, he heard it from Kenneth Chi, the harbor master. He pointed her in our direction.
Excellent.
And she's got a couple of boats down at the Alawite.
Excellent.
A couple of yachts down there. I don't know exactly.
That's how it happens. That's how it starts. People, you start getting the word out. You start talking about it. You start people hearing about what the mission is, and that you folks are out there to diligently clean up the shores of the islands. Yep. And trying to get trash.
And a few donations have been trickling in.
That's right.
It's so inspiring.
I know.
I take everybody who sends a donation, I immediately email them and just say, thank you so much. It means so much to us.
Once again, what's this woman's name again?
Which one?
The lady that donated the boat.
No, she's not. She hasn't donated it yet.
Oh.
Her name is Kathy Lawson.
Okay.
And she's sounds like she's she's ready to come on board. To
Okay.
the Pumapunku.
Okay, well, a little premature, but the fact that she's gotten connected.
We're going to meet with the guy. She's already set up a meeting with the guy who makes them, and he's coming down, and we're going to meet and talk about it.
Okay, well, I just wanted to say that we get her name out, and we want to thank her for thinking about you guys. And
Lawson, and thank you for telling me about Plastic Beach, because I'm aiming for that next. Excellent.
That sounds great. And like I said, that's how it starts. This community. We are the Aloha State, my friend, and with that, I think comes not only responsibility, but I've lived in other states. You're from California originally, Southern to be exact. I'm born and raised here, and I've grown up in other areas, going to college. But I don't know of any state in the union that's community. That gives so much time in and time again for good causes like this. So it's just great to know that we still have the Aloha State going, and it's still strong. The Aloha is still with us.
Yeah, I believe that's going to come through for us, especially with the rich people that live here, like Oprah and that guy who owns Lanai. What's his name again?
Larry Ellerson, my friend. You better tattoo that on your tattoo that on your
write that down.
Yeah. Larry Ellerson owns a little company called Oracle, and they are the sponsors for the arena that the Golden State Warriors play up in Oakland. So hang on to yourself, my friend. Frank, grab yourself, hang on to yourself. We're going to take a little pause for the cause. I'm going to put you on hold. We're going to pay some bills. And when we come back, more with Frank Ruiz, CEO of Pumapunku Ocean Cleanup, Inc. Hang on, okay, Frank?
Thank you.
All right, Frankie's on hold. Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of the John Nolan Show. Hope you're having a great evening wherever you might be in this great state of ours. Hope you're having a great evening, and if you are heading home to the ranch or you are coming back into town, no matter, make sure you drive with Aloha, give Aloha, show Aloha, arrive alive. No road raging out there for anybody out there. That's the rules here on the John Nolan Show. Now, let us get back to the CEO of Pumapunku Ocean Cleanup, Inc., whose mission is dedicated to cleaning up the ecosystems within Hawaii's ocean and beaches and waterways. And if you want to know more, if you want to contribute, if you want to help in the cleanup, if you want to give whatever you can in terms of helping this company get equipment to do the arduous task of having to clean up the beaches and waterways in which we live in on these islands, then certainly go to pumapunkuhawaii.com. And now we bring in back into the fold our buddy, CEO of Pumapunku Ocean Cleanup, Inc., Frank Ruiz. And aloha, brother Frank.
God bless you, John. How's my sound? I sound okay?
You sound great. You sound great, my friend. By the way, let's talk a little bit for, like I said, if people who are listening to this show and maybe had not had a chance to hear other shows that you've been on my airwaves, let's talk a little bit about your story and how this all got started, how long you have been working with the longshoremen.
Well, I just retired 27 years as a longshoreman. I ended up at the end of the Stairway to Heaven. I was a leaderman of Gang 65, which was quite an experience. Let me tell you, it's different to be the boss. That's no kidding. But that was great, and now I'm done with that, and I'm doing this ocean cleanup stuff. And I've been dreaming of an office over here, and I want offices on every island, but we got to start somewhere. And so let's start. I've been dreaming of a place here on Oahu, and I think the only place that's reasonable, money wise, is out here in Waianae, because it's every place else is like ridiculous amount of money, no matter if it's got a building on it or not. Anyways, and I was dreaming of a place with a pool and courts, basketball courts, racquetball courts, with classrooms for environmental education, and a volleyball court, and all kinds of classes like substance abuse, language classes, a real office like I used to go, a real building like I used to go to in Burbank was the YMCA where I grew up. Without that place, I wouldn't be here. I tell you that my father and mother split up when I was 4 and started another life, and God bless him. But without the YMCA, my mother was working full time, so I was there with my grandma, and you know, she's just grandma, and so I kind of raised myself. But the YMCA really was a big part of my growing up.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I'm hoping to do that here. There's a place right 3 blocks from here. They were going to build a YMCA. Harry and Jeanette Weinberg, which have YMCA's all over the place. They bought the land. They leveled it, and they made grass in it, and they made a parking lot and put the sign up, YMCA Youth Center, and they put a trailer there, and it's been there for 8 years. They've had plans to put in 2 pools, buildings with the racquetball courts and all that stuff I was just telling you about. And so I just went over there because of this thing I've been thinking about, and I talked to some people, and I've been in touch with the CEO of the YMCA, and if we can collaborate and we can raise the money for the building, Pumapunku could have a place there, an office, and so could the YMCA. And the thing is, it would all be a nonprofit, and the community would get all the rewards, you know. And the people who join up and pay the money to you know, for the dues, for the pool and the gym and everything else, they would pay for these new jobs created, and Pumapunku would also be there with their headquarters, and that would be the beginning. It's like an epiphany.
That's what
jazzed up.
I hear it, man. I hear it in your voice. You have had an epiphany, my friend, and that's great, because that's what happens when you get passionate about something like this. And you know what's more, you know, key
we just need a couple $1 million to get started, you know. And I say a couple $1 million like nothing, but it's not what it used to be. And Oprah
can't buy much with $1 million these days. I'll tell you that.
All these people that live around here, Roseanne Barr, I'm talking to you, woman. Come on down. And the Koch brothers and Trump and all these guys with tons of money. Well, it's just a tax write, and it's a good cause.
Yeah, you know, I think, I don't know about, not that they wouldn't give, or you know, these are the people obviously who are at that level that can, and I'm sure they obviously do give to their own charitable organizations. But I think what you're talking and who you're talking to are people that live here,
which is Roseanne.
They're part-time. They're part-time residents. It's not like they wouldn't give. But what I'm trying to say, Frank, is I think people who would buy into it are people here in the community.
Right.
We're talking.
I meant to say that I thought about that. That why would people in the mainland give us money to clean Hawaii? And that's true. But if they got so much money, that's one thing. But yeah, that's why I want to reach out to the people who live here or have places here that they fly their jet into and fly off and have the red carpet experiences and all. That's great.
Yeah, that would be great if that happens. But once again, I think the people who are more passionate and want to, because they live here, they breathe here, this is their home 24/7, not just a part-time residence, but the people who really, I think, would kick in are the people who are in our communities, who who raise their kids here, who want to see the next generation, as you said, make sure that this thing that we call Hawaii and the Aina, the rubbish, because of the fact that we all know on this island particularly, we're up to almost 1 million people on Oahu alone, much less the outer islands, and it just
million
of residents that live here. I'm not talking
way more than that.
Oh, I'm talking about registered. I'm not talking about the 7 million that come here in and out every year. I'm not talking about the tourist. I'm talking about residents alone. There's almost 1 million here on Oahu. A little under 1 million. Okay? It's about 8, 9, it hovers around 1 million on this island. That's not statewide. So we're talking about that, and then there's the 7 million that just come here just to play, just to check into our hotels, and just to enjoy the sun, surf, and do exactly what we're talking about. And I think that's where kind of is where the rub is. And that bugs me like anybody else. When I live in Waikiki, so I come from Waikiki and come down to Chinatown to do my radio show Monday through Friday. And when I'm walking out in the streets of Chinatown, we know the homeless situation, but there is rubbish opala everywhere, and people that don't clean up, people that don't pick up things when I'm standing there just waiting for the bus. I mean, if I see rubbish come floating by, I'll grab it and throw it into a bin. But that's what people have to do. We have to get more conscientious, and that's what I think you're trying to get them to do, obviously, is to get a little bit more conscientious about the environment.
Well, yeah, but it's beyond that. I want to clean it. And we need programs to guide people not to add to it what's already bad. But I really want to I want to clean it up.
Well, let's talk about some of the things now. You've had how many cleanups so far on record?
We've had 4 now.
Okay, yep. You've cleaned up 4 times in the community, all at the Aloi Boat Harbor.
Yes, sir. Okay,
and of those, you're talking about how total now, because you've given
32,000 pounds, I believe it is. It's 16 tons. Yeah,
16. That sounds like a song. 16 tons of garbage that you've been able to. And that is mind-boggling, my friend.
The last 4 tons plus was just with 8 guys, 8.5. Not that Kayala, not that you're a half, but you are a little fella. But that's the future of our company. Is this guy? This guy I keep going back to.
Right, and so 16 tons is just a lot. That is mind-boggling, the amount of trash. Now, what have you been seeing? What in this cleanup? What are some of the types of trash and articles of things that have been strewn and thrown in the waters? And what kind of things are you cleaning up? Well, talk about what you see out there and what you've been cleaning up on.
Well, it's 80% at least wood from the 3 streams coming down into the Aloi Canal, and they're cut. You can see that what happens in these streams is there's tons of water, tons of rainfall, and if anybody knows anything about Hawaii, everything grows like weeds. You name it, it grows. In one day, it can grow like 3 inches. It's just incredible, the growth of the plants. And so what people do is they go and they cut the wood, the branches, and they let it fall into the stream. They cut it so there's at least some kind of, it's not completely a cluster. And they cut it, and it flows down into the Aloi Canal. And then it goes out to sea, but for some reason it takes a left at the Aloi Yacht Harbor and goes in there and just inundates all those boats with tons of wood. But then there's also every conceivable, like Rocky Tahara told you last time, he had a can of WD-40.
Right.
He had some brake fluid.
Which is wild.
Rocky, aren't you there yet? Aren't you here yet? Nobody called in?
Well, it's just you and me talking right now, Frank, so just continue on. Don't worry about it. Yeah, but if you want to give a shout out to your friends, you can. But, but that's what we're talking about. I mean, aerosol cans, just about everything you can think of, people are just dumping into the tributaries. I mean, it's just mind-boggling what people just throw it in. Just dump in.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Now, on this plan that you have, you want to start first, obviously, on Oahu, and you've been talking about also expanding statewide, and so you're talking about going up to the Big Island to this one area to clean up. When would that take place, or is that something you're forming now?
Well, I just found out about this Camilo Beach, and I don't know the roads or anything, so I need to go there, scout it out, see what I can bring in as far as roll-offs and stuff, and how easy it will be to take out. And since this place is mostly plastic, cycle that plastic instead of just, whatever, incinerated. I don't know exactly what they do, but I want to recycle the plastic. And what I hear is on this Camilo Beach, it's called Plastic Beach.
Mm-hmm.
All this stuff from the current come around and swirl right into this beach.
Right, and it accumulates right there and stops and just piles up, right?
Just like the Northwest Atolls. And this beach was once a place where Native Hawaiians used to come there to find logs for their voyaging canoes.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a place where tons of trash wind up every year. So I'm thinking before, because of the currents, the logs used to come and show up for these old-time Hawaiians. It would just wash up on the beach, and it was like a gold mine. But now the currents are bringing all this trash. Once a scenic beach on the Big Island is now a disturbing reminder of pollution spoiling the world's ocean.
That is tragic, and it just, once again, it just rings the bell for everybody out there to know that there is so much opala and trash, particularly plastic, floating in the water that the fish get a hold of, that the animals in the water start grinding and choking on, the birds. I mean, this plastic, it's pretty awful. Hold on, Frank. We're going to take another pause for the cause. We've got to pay some bills. And when we come back, more with Frank Ruiz, CEO of Pumapunku, Ocean Cleanup, Inc. Hang on, Frank. And we are going to take another break. And, of course, if you want to wade in on this problem of trashing the islands, if you see trash out there, that's what we're talking about, man. 524-1080. When we come back on The John Nolan Show. Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of The John Nolan Show on AM 1080 K108. Thank you for hanging out with us.
As I was down the street.
And of course, we've been talking to CEO of Pumapunku, Ocean Cleanup, Inc., Frank Ruiz. He's done 4 cleanups at the Alawai Harbor, and they've pulled up about 16 tons of garbage and everything else. Their company is a nonprofit, and they are dedicated to the mission of cleaning up the ecosystem within Hawaii's oceans and beaches, waterways. If you want to get involved, if you want to help, go to pumapunkuhawaii.com. And you don't have to go any further than to the front page of the Honolulu Star Advertiser, where it says legislature has some issues, just rearranged. That's all. It's just rearranged. Byline by Kevin Dayton, and it says, when state lawmakers open a new election year session of the legislature on Wednesday, tomorrow, they will have a list of familiar issues waiting for them that voters have been urging them to address. Last year at the start of the legislative session, Oahu voters said they were most concerned about the city's rail project, traffic, homelessness, and the state's economy in that order. And another thing that you can add to that list is the ecology and cleaning up this island and getting this place back to where it should be. Not cars being left out and of course the dumping of not only trash but the dumping of toxic chemicals. I mean, you name it, people dump it here. It has become a dumping ground for just about everything we throw away. So for more on that, we bring in, of course, Frank Ruiz. And Frankie, if you would go down to the legislature and talk to some of the representatives, some of our state representatives, what would you tell some of these people, your concerns of what you've seen in some of these cleanups with your company? What are some of the things you'd like to address now that the legislature tomorrow is opening up for another session?
Is that right? Well, Miley Shimabakuru, William Isla, all these guys, Megan Stats, all these harbor master people, we got to get together with this, with these cleanups, because there's no money coming our way. People of Hawaii, this is your state. Let's clean it up, keep it clean. This is your company. My company is your company, but I need your financial help. I need your money. Yes, I need your money to make this happen, or it won't get done. There are places under bridges that are choked with trash. These guys call me and send me pictures. A lot of people are involved, but they don't have a lot of money.
Right. And that's okay, because that's how it starts. A little bit here, a little bit there, people concerned, people giving you pictures of what's going on out there. I mean...
this guy called me about right by Laliha Bakery. There's a bridge over there.
Right.
And he sent me pictures, and he told me all about all these homeless people over there.
Right.
They're just trashing it up. And he sent me these pictures which were just packed. And if there was any high tide, all would all get washed down into the river.
Well, not only that, but we've had already a couple cases. There was one months ago when we were in the rain season, and the homelessness problem reached out, and it's reared its ugly head because they were camping underneath these bridges where the waterways were, and sure enough, we had a heavy rain, and it came rushing down like it always does from the hills down through, and this woman got taken away. I mean, literally drowned. They couldn't find her.
Really?
And so that's what we're talking about. A dangerous case of this, what we're talking about, of people of being homeless, being put in harm's way. That's another problem that we have, is the homeless creating all this trash when they set up camp in just about every area that they're trying to set up. I'm not trying to come down on the homeless. I'm just saying it creates a problem that we've all got to be concerned about, because the next thing is the residue of where they're camping and where they're living and where they're, and so all this rubbish that they create. When the state has to go in and the have to go in, there's tons and tons of trash that they leave behind these campsites.
If you were going to be homeless, I would think this is the place to be homeless. It's warm here. You try to go to the mainland, even California, where I grew up, in the morning, there's ice on the ground.
Sure.
It's cold.
And every time that there is a winter that comes through, people die literally on the streets of Chicago, New York, in the Midwest,
and
back east.
Sub-zero degrees. It's just intense. It's so cold.
Right. In Minnesota, it was sub-zero. I mean, everybody watched the game with the Seahawks and the Vikings. I mean, it was sub-zero temperature. I mean, unbelievable. So that's what we're talking about. It's a very precarious issue because one bleeds into the other. We have homeless. Those homeless camp. Where they camp, they leave rubbish and opala, and then when it's left behind, what do? They throw it into the tributaries. They throw it in the roads. They throw it underneath the bridges. They throw it all over the place. And who cleans up that stuff?
Nobody.
Exactly.
It's like, it's the city and county is overloaded.
Of course they are.
They've got no budget for this.
Right. And that's what we're saying. A lot of these things that people know and want and pay for, we're getting maxed out on our services to the state and the city and county, to the point where they can't address it. So it's just great that with your passion, the fact that you've been a longshoreman, the fact that you want to do something for the state of Hawaii in terms of cleaning up, and what better way to have companies like yours that are started through a nonprofit organization such as yours to come in and be that buffer where we can't get it done through our taxes. Evidently, it's not getting done the normal way of every city and county from here to Timbuktu that normally get their problems done the right way. We are maxed out. And so because of that, human resource, monies, this is the next level. We have to do it through the private sector. We have to do it through funding, giving, nonprofit, and that's a great way as far as I'm concerned. That's a good way. It's a good start, my friend.
This is our problem. Excuse me. Yeah, it's our problem. We have to get it going and keep it going. But without you, the public, we got nothing. We need you. If you're out there and listening to this broadcast, I need you to come forward and just get involved. Just $10. It's a big thing. You know, it's great to get the public involved. And when I get these people who give us money, I just feel so much in my heart about it. It's just so wonderful.
Well, you're on the right start, my friend, and this is how it starts. No donation is too big or too little in terms of what you're trying to do.
We got oceans and rivers and lakes and canals and waterways. We have to maintain the cleanliness. I don't need this for myself. I'm doing fine.
Right.
This is for.
No, for
Hawaii.
Absolutely, and I agree with you. You know, we all know a very good life being a longshoreman. My nephew was a longshoreman. I have many friends that work on the docks, as you know. I know a lot of people down there. I've covered them over their careers because there's a lot of sports athletes, ex-athletes that have played and then gone down to work down there. And so, you know, it's a good living. You've got a good pension. And I applaud you the fact that you're just not sitting back on your okole playing golf and you want to get involved, and that's what you've done. So kudos to you, my friend, and to the people that you work with that are just as passionate about helping out the community, because that's how it starts. And here's what we're talking about, people. If you want to just get a hold of Frank later, go to Pumapunku Hawaii.com. Puma, Puma, Pumapunku Hawaii.com. That's what you want to do. Pumapunku Hawaii.com. And whatever you can give, and if you can't give money and you want to go down and you want to give your blood, sweat, and tears and want to just know when the next one is and you want to come down and help physically, can they do that also?
Of course, yeah. That'd be great. We're going to have another cleanup in about a month down at the LOI Yacht Harbor. I guess that's going to be like a regular thing for us. And
excellent.
I don't have the date. I think it's March 5th, actually.
Okay.
March 5th.
Well, that sounds great, Frank. And once again, I support your effort and what you're doing. I think it's marvelous. There's nothing more near and dear to the things that I do on this program to try to do. That's kind of my kuleana, is, if you would, when I want to help out and reach out. We usually help the River of Life mission that feeds the homeless here in Chinatown. I've had Bob Marchand, the executive director, on many times. I went down there during the holiday season and served and helped serve along with a lot of other people, just not me, but a lot of other people helped serving for days like for Thanksgiving. And so that's these things, cleaning up the community, something like this, your company. That's why I have you on as a guest, because I'm passionate about the Aina and where we live and cleaning up this place and making sure that the pristine, some of the beautiful, that everybody that, people come from all over the world to save up their whole life just to see, to be here for a couple days.
Yeah, and then they see all this trash.
Exactly. That's my point. And then they see this place. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because it puts a black eye on every citizen and every local and every person that lives here. It's a black eye for everyone when they see that this place has been trashed. And so I just, I applaud you in that effort, my friend. And,
This plastic beach I just found.
Yes.
It's incredible on the Big Island. And I imagine it's just like the Northwest Atoll. Same thing where the current brings it and just dumps it on these pristine, beautiful islands.
Well, my friend, just a little, just a little advice your way. Now, it's your company, you can do it, but certainly it does help to talk to and get some feedback from the powers that be. The legislature starts tomorrow. You want to go down and do some whole mully and talk to these guys, like you said, to find out. And find out what you have to do. We're already. Hold on, we've got somebody calling in. Let's check in and see who's there. Caller, are you there?
Johnny Nolan.
Hey, is this Edgar?
Yes, it is. Buddy.
Edgar Palafax is calling in, buddy. We want to give him a round of applause.
The surfer.
The surfer, he's everything, man. He's a surfer, human resource director for Aloha Care. He's a part-time professor, has been for HBU for many years, and he's a pretty good ball player. He's still got wheels. You still got wheels, Edgar. So we're just wrapping up, man. We were hoping you called a little earlier. We literally got 3 minutes to go, but we want to tell you 2 minutes rather. And Edgar, you know, we've been talking about this whole thing of cleanup and where this state is, where this island is, and doing what needs to be done. But a little bit about what you've been doing and helping out with Frank's company.
Frank is fantastic. I mean, basically, Frank's mission and everything is for the next generation. We are out there to help clean up everything, but we're doing it for the kids and their kids.
Right.
Because we got to take care of this lineup and make sure we have something good to pass to the next generation. And Frank's vision and everything else, doing an awesome job. Great leader, great visionary.
Oh, come on. It's all of us.
No, but it takes someone to take the bull by the horns and lead the group. Thank you, Frank. You did a great job, and you're still doing it. We just need these sponsors to come out. We need donations, and, you know, we just need so we can do more things for the INO.
Absolutely. Man, next time, Edgar, you got to call earlier because we got to run, and we're already out of time. But thank you so much, my friend, for calling in. And next time, the cleanup, and next time we get this, we'll get the word out for everybody. Thank you, Edward Palafox.
Okay, Johnny Nolan.
All right, Eddie.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend. All right. Ed Palafox, everybody. Long time, of course, in the community. Star, back in the day, a basketball player at Kalani, and just a great guy all around. We got to run, my friend, as usual,
okay,
Frank.
John Nolan.
As usual, as soon as we get going, we heat up. We got to cool down and heli on down the road. So you let me know what is happening in terms of the cleanup, and we will get the word out for you and Pumapunku Ocean Cleanup Inc. Thank you, Frank.
Thanks, John.
All right. Aloha, my friend. He's everybody. CEO of Pumapunku Ocean Cleanup Inc. You want to do something for them? Pumapunkuhawaii.com is where you want to go. Well, as we say here on the John Nolan Show, as soon as we heat up, we got to cool down. We got to heli on and get on down the road, brothers and sisters. But before we go, big mahalos all the way around. Starting with our first hour of